What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? All right. We're gonna get into some stuff. Let me make this off. What's up? All right, come on in and put a 1 in the chat if you still think the crash is coming. We talked about that yesterday. What's up, y'all? All right, waiting on you to come on in. Did something I shouldn't have done, which is I did not charge my computer before I started. All right, I want to see if I can open up these chats real quick. All right, we're going to learn about wealth building. And I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, there we go. I want to make sure I could see the chats. I am live. Thomas. Drop where you're from. What's up, y'all? What's Hey, George, what's going on? For some reason, StreamYard isn't giving me my chats in real time. So I'm kind of looking over to get some of what you guys are putting. Hold on 1 second. I got to organize this and make sure I can see you guys. All right. All right. What's up? We're going to get started. I'm going to share with you one of the stocks that I've been loading up on and why I'm loading up on it. I want to teach y'all just some simple principles, and I promise you it's going to be extremely valuable. What's up from California? Hey, Kimberly, I see you. Sarasota, Florida. I hope I'm saying that right. Texas is in the house. Hey, George, I'm blessed to be alive as well. Glory to God. It's a beautiful day. And a beautiful day has nothing to do with the sun being out or the temperature or anything like that, or even if, the fact that everything is going the right way. A beautiful day to me is a beautiful day because I make it a beautiful day. I say it's a beautiful day. This the day that the Lord has made, and I will choose to rejoice in it. And so it's a beautiful day. How about you guys? George is in the house. All right, we're gonna get into some really good stuff because I want to share something that is a principle. And man, I'm gonna make this so easy for you all. We have some advanced investors in here, and then we have some people, hey Stephen Lee, that are new and they're like, hey, I'm totally new to this, And when you live by principles, it doesn't matter how much of an expert you are in investing or how much of a beginner you are. They work for everybody. All right. And that's what I'm here for. Oklahoma is in the house. I'm happy you made it to your first live. Salty Gravy. What's up? Virginia is in the house. So I'm going to help you guys to make things simple in your investing journey. That's what I'm here for. And so let me just start by asking you this, because we'll get through this, and I'm going to share, like I said, that one of the stocks that I'm loading up on and why. What's up, Denver? Who are you building for? Sometimes it's not what, it's who. Who are you building for? You gotta understand why you're doing this. I appreciate you teaching us. Absolutely. I enjoy it. And I appreciate you all for taking time out on your Saturday to be here. All right, who are you building for? Because if the only answer is you, then you're already going to limit your legacy, okay? Right? Because your who is connected to your why, right? And so I'm not building wealth for me anymore. I realize that. And that's why I'm so passionate about it. I'm not building it just for me. I'm building it for them. Who is them? My kids, but also the next generation, the people who will inherit not just my assets, but my example. So there's more at stake. You see, a lot of people might talk about, money like it's just numbers. I'm trying not to do that, right? Checking in the 6th generation. I'm trying not to do that. I see it as language is what I see it as. Okay. And so it's how we teach our children, our grandchildren, our family members, what is possible for them by living it out. Is how we show them that they can own a piece of the future instead of just working for someone else's. And I talked about this in one of my videos about you built, if you're not investing for yourself, for your life, for your future, you investing and building in somebody else's dream more than yours. And we don't want that. Okay. And so I want to talk about one of the stocks that I've recently started to dollar cost average in. And I'll tell you what it is in a minute. Building for my 11-month-old grandson and unborn granddaughter. Yes, you got to have a reason, y'all. It can't just be you. I'm telling you, there's so much more. It's almost like, when you're playing with a team, it's harder to let the team down than if you have a single sport where you're just independent. When you start being a part of a team where now you're affecting other people, it hits you very differently. You know what I'm saying? And um so I want to share one of the companies, but more importantly, I want to talk about why I'm doing it and what is teaching me, my kids, about patience, ownership, and the way I look at this company. I'm going to pull the principles out so you can learn what companies to invest in, because the truth is, like, what I'm helping you all to realize is wealth isn't built in like one trade or one single bull run, or everybody waiting on this bull run. I am too. I'm still positioned for a crash if it come, and if it don't, it don't. But I'm positioned, okay? Because you got to be positioned beforehand. But a lot of times when you're looking at real wealth, it is built often during boring, consistent, steady decisions that you make week out of week, even when nobody cheering you on, nobody watching you, nobody, you know what I mean? Now, I'm trying to be here to cheer y'all on, because it is a little easier when somebody's like, when you're in a culture where, hey, we all doing this. Yo, we about to get wealthy. We're not about to sit around here and watch, you know what I mean, other people make smart decisions while we sit on the back line and look dumb. You know what I'm saying? So that's not what we're here for. That's not what we're doing. We're gonna implement, right? Even if it's a little bit at a time, and I'm gonna help you to do it in a way that makes sense. But if you ever felt like, hey, I'm just working, I'm paying bills, and you just wonder, can I get ahead? I want to show you the mindset that will help you to get ahead. Okay. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to the page. Please like the video. It helps the algorithm. I appreciate it. Hey, and I want to say this for legal purposes. I'm not here to tell you what to buy, hold, or sell. Everything I say is for educational purposes only. If you want to invest, talk to your licensed financial advisor in your area and get him to tell you how to, become a multi-millionaire. Hopefully he is one too. But this is for educational purposes only. Please like the video again. Now, here's what's wild. Like, I'm gonna help you guys to understand, man, this is more simple than you could ever realize. People really think that you got to be a genius to build wealth. They do. They really think wealthy, super wealthy people are geniuses. They're not always. It's not like that, y'all. You don't have to be a genius to build wealth. Okay. You don't have to have a finance degree. You don't need to work on Wall Street. You don't even need to read 10 books in investing, even though I believe that you should read. But you don't have to invest. You just need to start. Thank you. Thank you, Tina. You just need to start, because the truth is, wealthy individuals or have to be in the same alignment as a wealthy individual. You got to understand, it's not a far-fetched idea. Wealth has always, 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 always been accessible to everybody. Hey, Jewel, what's up? You made it to a live. Wealth is accessible to you. The system made it sound complicated. So sometimes people just don't even try because they think it's complicated. But Wall Street isn't just for the wealthy anymore. I'm telling you, it's not. Wall Street is not just for the wealthy anymore. It's for you. It's for everyday people who finally realize, look, I can own a part of these companies too. You know what I'm saying? These are companies I use every single day. I can own a piece of the puzzle. You know what I'm saying? A piece of this company, a piece of whatever they got to offer, right? It may not be the full picture, but it's a little piece of it. Okay. So I'm trying to get you to stop just consuming the world and start owning pieces of it. All right. Say totally agree. Amen. Yeah. Now let's be clear. Investing doesn't mean gambling. I want to be clear on that. It means owning intentionally. And I'm going to tell you what I look for in companies. It means also doing your due diligence to understand what you're buying and why you're buying it. Now, I'm going to share with you what I look for in a company. And it doesn't have to, you don't have to, like, I see some people when they start and they just trying to get into everything. If you don't understand these companies, it's best to just really start and concentrate on companies that you can understand. And that's just very simple. First of all, are you a customer of that company? Because if you're a customer, you probably like the company. So you can really start with companies where you're a customer. It's just that simple. And you can get into the other stuff. If you're a little more advanced, yeah, you understand, how to diversify your portfolio a lot more. But it's even if I am diversified, I still really like owning companies that I use. I'll never forget my way back, one of my first investments early on was a company that I spent a lot of money in. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm spending all this money. I about need, and I used to say that. Crazy thing is, I used to say that about a lot of companies. Like, I do this on I need to own the company. Like, a long time ago. Didn't even realize, like, yeah, you can really do that. Now, here's what I'm looking for in a company. And I keep it simple and I ask these type of questions. So this is going to help you. Okay. I keep it real simple, right? Here's number one. Are they making real products that people use? Are they making products that people use? AKA Apple. Okay. The second thing is, are they forming partnerships that position them to make more money in the future? You know what I'm saying? Are they positioning themselves for partnership? Google. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of companies that's positioning themselves with like AI, and you know what I mean? They're making partnerships with other companies. And so, um, good, Tiffany taking notes, right? Are they positioning themselves to make more money and forming partnerships? There's a lot of companies that are partnering with AI. You know what I'm saying? They're partnering with other tech companies, and there's a lot of partnership going on. Amazon is a great example. The next one is, do they manage their debt? Do they, or let's say, do they have manageable debt? Okay. Or are they drowning in it? Are they drowning in debt? Again, I'm going to use Apple because they're one of the best examples of debt management. They got a lot of cash on the sidelines. They really do. And at one point it was just like, okay, well, what are you going to do with this cash? We're just waiting to see, okay, how are you going to utilize this cash? But they got a lot of cash. So you want to make sure that, the company is not drowning in debt. Okay. You can look at that. Right. And then, most importantly, are they growing? Is there innovation? Are they expanding their reach? Amazon, Amazon, Amazon. They done expanded from e-commerce to AWS to AI to cloud computing to healthcare. They about to be delivering medicine and stuff to logistics to media. I mean, Amazon got it going on. They reinvest and expand. They just don't stop innovating. I like them. Those are just examples. There's a lot of companies doing this, but these are very simple things that you can find out about the company, and that's it. Listen, I don't want any of you all to overcomplicate this. And when you start overcomplicating it, it makes me feel, because y'all know I'm a I'm into behaviorism. When there's an overcomplication of doing simple things like investing $10 in a solid company, when there's excuses that start to be made as to why you can't do it, that's your self-sabotage coming up. Okay. Well, I'm gonna start investing when I get enough money. I'm gonna start investing when I get time to figure it out. These are the same reasons. See, this is all very familiar to me because as a health coach, it's the same excuses as to why somebody won't get their health in order and they won't, move around and do what they need to do to make sure that they're going to live a thriving life. These are the same excuses. They just get filtered. And you got to understand, if they're filtered in one area of your life, they're going to be filtered in another area. If you look around and you see your house and your closet is loaded with a bunch of junk and clutter, I would really suggest that you take a moment and clean that closet out, because I can guarantee you that when your physical space becomes clear, your head will become clear and you're going to make better decisions. It's just the environment that you're in makes a difference. I'm telling you, a little at a time goes a long way. That's right. George, data centers and power companies. That's right. I just think about how that company will be 10 years from now. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, I want to say, make sure that you're not using excuses and you're not self-sabotaging yourself. You're getting in the way of your own self. When I can learn more, you don't need to learn more, okay, before you start investing. I would like you to learn more, but you don't need to learn more before you start investing. And it doesn't mean that I'm saying you shouldn't learn. I used to have to say this when people would put restrictions around salvation and say, well, they need to stop doing this so that they can get saved. Well, no, salvation is a free gift through faith by grace. And that's not what the scripture says. And so now you're putting stipulations before somebody's able to walk in a level of freedom that they can walk into. And it's a free gift. To invest your money it's a choice that you make. It doesn't, you don't have to be smart before you start investing, just like you don't have to stop doing this and that and that and this before you get saved. You get saved and then you work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, and you start to learn and you grow and you understand God more, and it makes you, because of that, it makes you now want to make changes in your life. Okay. And so the same is true with investing. You can start investing. You don't need to know everything up front. You can start investing in solid companies, even if you're starting with ETFs that are really safe. And as you start to invest, you will grow and you will learn and things will start to change. Okay. And so that brings me to one of the stocks that I've been dollar cost averaging into because it checks those boxes across the board. They're profitable. They're expanding. They're innovative, and in one of the biggest sectors in the planet, as a matter of fact. So I'm just still looking at the comments. I'm new to investing and new to your channel. I'm ready to soak game up. Absolutely. That's what I want you to do. And so this company has partnerships with OpenAI and X. They're at the center of artificial intelligence, data centers, and the next generation computing. And so analysts have also targeted the price, and I'm sure it's going to go much higher to like 300, 310, maybe even 320, 340. And so that company is AMD. And I want to tell you, again, I'm using this as a case study so you can understand why did I choose to dollar cost average into AMD. I do have some other dollar cost averages also. So I like AMD, not telling you what to buy, hold, or sell. I'm telling you this for educational purposes only, but this is why. First of all, AMD is called knew it, AMD. Yeah, Lisa. Advanced Micro Devices is the name of the company. And the chips inside the machines, these are the chips inside the machines that will that basically power the future, power our future. Okay, so let's make it personal. And for me, it's more than just a stock. To me, it's a story, because when I buy AMD, I'm not just betting on a company. I'm teaching my kids to bet on innovation, and I bring them into my plays. Right. I've been investing in AMD well before they even hit $100. Okay. So I'm showing them how to recognize value and how to look at a business and ask, what problems are they solving? And how, this is why I like the comment about 10 years ahead. How far ahead are they thinking? That's what you got to understand. Look, bought AMD in 2018 for 1144, and I'm still holding. Yes, I love it. Yeah, great company. That's the mindset that builds wealth. Okay, it's not hype, it's not luck, it's just consistent and steady ownership and of real innovation. Okay, so you got to look at that. And yeah, Nvidia. That's why I love AMD. AMD is Nvidia's first cousin, and so there's cousins in stocks, y'all, like Uber and Lyft. Okay, if you see Uber, making some moves, you're gonna see Lyft making some moves. And so I love Nvidia. And I talked about, I don't like the or. People, oh, do you want AMD or Nvidia? I want both. I want Nvidia and AMD. Okay. And so I was loaded up heavy, going into Nvidia, and I'm like, no, let me buy Nvidia's first cousin, like Kenneth said. Let me buy the first cousin too. I'm bringing you along. And truth be told, AMD, and y'all got to think about this now. Now pay attention, because AMD is Nvidia's first cousin. Now AMD done hit, because where's Nvidia at? What did we end up? Because AMD done hit 200 before Nvidia, right? Nvidia hasn't hit 200 yet. And let me look where Nvidia left off at. NVIDIA is at 183. Their high point is 195.62. I'm looking on Charles and Schwab, right? So if AMD hit 200 quick, NVIDIA ain't gonna let that happen to you know what I'm saying? Like first cousin coming to, you know, make her run too. Okay. So pay attention to that because, you know, although AMD did hit 200 first, NVIDIA is the leading, one of the leading companies in AI. And so y'all know they're going to get down and they're like, all right, now we ain't going to let too much go on without us making our move. All right. So you can look at certain stocks and kind of see, you know, what the other stock is going to do. Okay. And so, so now, but think about this. When we're investing, you know, like I said, it's not like you have to know everything. Like I said, I've met people with a finance degree who has never bought a single stock. Okay. Never. There's no way I would be buying AMD. Has been over $100 before to crash. That will happen again. Like the government has failed this year because of part disagree so much. Okay. Michael was saying that. Happy Saturday, guys. It's your channel reminder. Thanks. Yeah, there's some people who are got finance degrees who has never bought a single stock. They wouldn't know NVIDIA if you asked them, like, I got a finance degree. They might have even studied the markets. They may know some of these stocks in the video, whatever, but they've never participated. There really are some people like that. Okay. It's like, think about going to a surgeon. And this is why I keep saying you don't have to be super smart to do this. Think about going to a surgeon who's read every book on heart surgery. They like, I read 1,000 books and I've been studying. I've been in school for the last 15 years. And you say, well, how many surgeries have you performed? And they like, well, you my first. Manager, can we get somebody in here real quick? I need to switch doctors right away. Okay. I need to switch doctors. And so it's interesting, even sometimes for like financial advisors, if you were to like really question them and ask them, hey, what's your view of the stock market? What's your view of companies? How do you assess, you know, whether to buy a stock? Do you do it? You know what I mean? Like some of them probably don't have none of that going. Okay. So my question is, would you trust a surgeon who been in school 15 years, had books, degrees, whatever? Maybe they've been 20 years, but they like, well, I haven't quite, you know, operated on anybody just yet. Okay. See, what I'm trying to tell you is somebody said, I quit my 9 to 5 after 5 years of consistently investing in crypto and stock. I love this. I love this, you guys. Listen, I was just talking about this the other day. About your jobs. If you're not happy, you need to start doing something about that, right? You got to get out of these positions where you're miserable. Okay. I talked about that in one of my videos. But here's what I want you to understand so you can be very encouraged. You learn investing by investing. You learn investing by investing. By getting in the game, you know, one share at a time, whatever that looks like. That's how you start to really understand the market. You don't have to load all up on all this education and then say, well, in a few years when I understand what, because I know people look at those charts sometimes and they're like, what is going on? I used to look at them when I was younger growing up, when my father had the stock market on TV, and I'm like, this is very difficult just looking at these numbers like this. But you don't have to understand everything. Okay. I'm trying to make it real simple. AMD's ETFs like AMDY from high yield dividend firms are affordable and pays weekly. See, look at that. I like AMD, but it's very high. It's high already. Will it go higher? Probably, but I like to buy low. Yeah. I like to buy low. I like to buy low, guys. You know what I'm saying? But I average down, but there are companies that I also average up because you got to look at it like this. You know what I'm saying? Like when Palantir hit, you know, $30-$40 and it was like, oh, it's at an all-time high $40. You know what I'm saying? That's averaging up, but it's like, but then it went to $70 and it's like, oh no, that's all-time high. See, at some point every level was an all-time high, right? At some point Tesla's had an all-time high at 200 and it went up. At some point, you know what I mean? A lot of the companies, you know, Meta had all-time highs, you know, Netflix had all-time highs, you know, at some point, okay, it's $400, you know what I'm saying? But so it's all about how long you plan on holding it. Everybody got a different game plan. You know what I'm saying? If you plan on holding it, you know, for the next, you know, 5, 10 years, you got to ask yourself, well, will it be higher then? Hey, and if something invalidates that, then you just shift. You just got to be nimble with this game. You know what I'm saying? And so if I'm going to buy high, I'm going to buy more when it's low. If I'm buying it at 200, I'm loading up at 99. Okay. So, and remember monthly lows, buying them at monthly lows is really good. Buying them, good solid companies at the 200 EMA is really good. So yeah, if you buying them high, you want to load up when they go low. You know what I mean? Have a little cash ready for when they drop, for the pullbacks and stuff like that. Okay. But I want you to understand, you don't have to understand everything to invest. Okay. When you start to invest little by little, what happens is when you get a little skin in the game, you start to pay attention very differently. Okay. You just do. Right. It's just like reason why you have to, for peace of mind. Yeah, DCA for peace of mind. So yeah, think about it. Like solid companies, you DCA, so you don't have to. I'm banning it when it's up. I'm banning it when it's down. I'm banning it when it's this price. I'm banning it when it's that price. It's just, you know what I mean. And that has statistically been shown when you do that to good companies to be a good idea. You know what I mean? To have you be profitable in the end. And so also think about this. You know, some people look at intuition as like this mystical thing where it's like, oh, I got a hunch in my gut. I got this intuition, like it's completely spiritual. But you got to understand, intuition also gets strengthened when there's more exposure. For example, if somebody's riding a motorcycle and they're used to riding every day, all the time, you know what I mean? If they see a bump in the road, they have a little more intuition to like move or do or make a move quicker than somebody who's like, okay, I'm getting on this bike for the first time. Like you're not going to have much intuition to be able to be maneuver the way you think you should. You know what I'm saying? So I say that to say that, you know, some people just know how to make quick good decisions because they're implementing what they're doing. It's just like basketball players or you know what I mean? Like it's like sometimes it takes 0.0005 seconds to be able to you got to make a quick decision, a quick move, you know, when they're passing the ball, you know what I mean? Like, or when they're, you know, just when they're anticipating that the ball is coming this way and they're going to get a steal or whatever that looks like. It's not just intuition, like a spiritual thing. It's the fact that they've done this thing over and over and over. And then they start to like intuitively know what decisions to make. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. Watching from the Philippines, what's going on? Okay. I'm going back to look at a few comments. Go to drop Philippians 2 and was that 12? Therefore, my beloved, as you have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but how much more in my absence, work out your own salvation. Oh, you okay? Yep, you quoting that scripture. Yes, I was stuck in the faith. See, I'm seeing some of the comments. I think later. I'm not sure. I told my shawty about you. You got a lot of good information. I can tell you know what you're talking about. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, but I try to make it simple, and I don't even overcomplicate. Look, I'm not the smartest person in the world. Like I'm far from it. You know what I mean? But I just have like super simple standards that I can live by that can, you know, get me moving and to give me some wins, because you guys need wins. Okay. And so that's why I tell people on a psychological level, you have to set yourself up for wins. Okay. So because when you have wins, it does something to your level of motivation and inspiration. And again, it just puts you in the game and it makes you look at things very, very differently. Okay. So make sure you expose yourself to doing these things. I'm not just saying this, like you don't have to be super smart. And so I don't care if you're brand new or if you've been around for a while, you can do this. You can build wealth. You can own the same companies that billionaires do. You just have to be, you just have to start small, stay consistent and focus on understanding what you own. And if you can start there, I'm telling you, you'll just build little by little. Nobody gets up and start like sprinting overnight. And you know what the thing is, we learn how to be so fearful about the stuff we do. We really do when we growing up, because kids are not like that. They are very courageous. Like when you see a little baby starting to walk, they take one step at a time. And when they fall, they get right back up and they just keep trying. They're very enduring. Like somewhere along the way, we're taught to stop stepping. Oh, I fell down on that one, so I'm just going to stay down. You know what I mean? Kids don't even do that. So we're taught that as we grow older. All right. So, like I said, some of these comments are coming by a little bit slower. Okay, so here's the thing. A lot of people think wealth is built on following the next hot stock, and it's not. It's not. It's built on understanding why you buy and how you think when everybody else is panicking. Like, you got to have some emotional intelligence in this. And that's exactly why I did create the Wealth and Wisdom community. This isn't it's not just about, oh, follow all my trades, follow all my options. I will go into some more details with stuff like that. But this is where I take you inside my thought process, and I show you how I'm analyzing companies, how I'm managing risk, time entries, and building discipline, all of that. And so you're not just seeing the move, you're learning the mindset behind the move. Okay, because it's one thing to copy somebody's play, it's another thing to understand why did they make this play and how they thought about it as like an investor, you know what I'm saying, instead of like thinking like a gambler. And so inside the membership, I go a little bit deeper. I'll walk you through my strategy for dollar cost averaging, how I evaluate new opportunities, and the principles that keep me calm when markets go crazy. Because remember, as the saying goes, the market will be irrational more than you can stay rational. So you got to be able to have some nervous system regulation in all of this. Okay. Also in the membership, you can hit the join button by the video. It's only $3.99 a month, $3.99. You're going to get private live streams. So some of my live streams there won't be public. All, you know what I mean? We'll have exclusive live streams just for the members. You're going to get behind the scenes breakdown and access to conversations that's just going to help you grow. Okay. And again, the best part is only $3.99. Okay. A month. That's it. You can cancel anytime. So if you are like watching my videos, you nod your head, but you're ready to apply the information or go at a deeper level and understand a little bit more about this, this is where it happens. So click the join button and you'll have access to that. Okay. We got to start building wealth and wisdom together. Okay. So make sure you do that. If you want to go even deeper, my 90-day challenge is also in the description. You can look at that. Make sure you like the video, please. Again, it helps the algorithm. Again, I want to say this. I'm not telling you what to buy, hold, or sell. This is for informational purposes only. Look at the gap balance sheet from last year and this year. Does it look good? Yeah, yeah. Is the money going up or is it going down? You know, and I'm a big fan. Thank you so much, Lisa. I'm a big fan of looking at the like APLD. I know sometimes it's boring, y'all, to watch the quarterly, meetings that they have, the earnings. But I watched them. I watch for the companies that I'm really trying to figure out. Hey, we got a new member. Let me just put this here. I appreciate that, Kenneth. For the companies that like APLD, I watched their earnings. Well, number one, because I did a lotto option, meaning I bought an option play before they went, but I knew, hey, this could go all the way the wrong way, like it did with Target. And and whatever I was going to lose on that play was not going to even get near, like I would have still been up for the week. So it was a calculated risk. But I did look at APLD's earnings, and yeah, and they got, and I loved it. That's why I said, and it helped me to know, hey, I ain't selling none of these right now. So sometimes you can kind of know what they're doing as a company. You can look at their quarterly earnings if you're really into it. But even if you don't want to do all of that stuff, again, just start with ETFs and solid companies and growth companies. If you're older and you're into dividends, you can do that. I can't get in through Google Play. Is there another way I could join? Let me put the link real quick here. I don't know. Yeah, let me throw the link real quick. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna throw the link. I'm still looking at. I am putting it. I always let y'all know if I'm putting something in the comments, because I don't want y'all clicking on nothing crazy. But I just put it in the link, so you can probably join from there. I always look at the charts that I place a bid that many times that I wasn't at my computer when I buy shares into a company. I may get in bit. Yeah. I'm always looking at the charts too. Of course, when you're doing especially swing trades. Now with investing, you don't necessarily, if you're investing in a good company, you can just look at the, is it how far it is from the, well, yeah, I do look at the charts for it when I'm even investing to know my entry points of buying, but still, you can just look at the weekly lows, the monthly lows, and get and put limit orders in, or you can DCA. I do like to load up when it drops. And you know what? Sometimes, again, it ain't all difficult. Sometimes I look and I say, okay, what's down today? Oh, this down 8%, this down 10%. Let me start leveling myself in this. Okay. And buying them a little bit at a time. Like, it's not like I'm gonna go all in unless it's at a crash. Like back in April, that was an all in moment for me. But that don't always happen. When there's corrections and pullbacks and stuff. Lisa, thank you so much. Became a member. when there's corrections and pullbacks and things like that, um, I like to, start sliding into some of them. You can slide in little by little, put a little money in there. You know what I mean? When it's going down, because if it's correcting, you don't know if it's going down more. But again, you can't time the bottom. So I don't play the games of like, oh, maybe it might go down more. I just start putting a little bit, scaling in as it's going down. You know what I mean? So, and then sometimes, like, again, if a stock is down, if it's down 5%, 10%, depending on the stock, like 5% in one day could be a lot for certain stocks, for certain companies that are not as volatile. And then you got other companies that's way more volatile. They could be down 10%, 12%, So yeah, I look at that also. The 90-day health and wealth challenge is our 90-day challenge where we go deep into rebuilding the mind. We also target health and money. This membership is a little bit different. It's a very affordable, $3.99. And so I wanted to do something affordable for those who can't get into the 90-day health and wealth challenge. But I would also, if you are more interested in going into a little bit more depth, that's a full-fledged coaching program. And so you're going to get the full transformational program if you go through the 90-day health and wealth challenge. It comes with a full-fledged program as far as video lessons, and comes with live sessions, live mastermind sessions with me, where you can do Q&A, and it's a more in-depth coaching program. So if you want more in-depth, that would be my community that you would sign up for the 90-day health and wealth challenge. But I wanted to provide something that was really simple, for my audience, that wouldn't cost them a lot, because I am trying to get you guys to invest, and everybody just don't have the money right now. If you do have, and you want that up close and personal touch, then yeah, definitely you can join the 90-day program. Okay. Palantir was around $6 in early 2023. It's a good company, but now the price is crazy. Yeah, they say it's overpriced. It may come back some. So just be careful. I'm not buying any Palantir currently right now, because I really did load up when it was before it skyrocketed. I really did load up, and so I haven't been buying that. As now I'm trying to now work on other positions where I have not got as much position. Okay. So yeah, Tiffany said less than a cup of coffee. So $3.99 is affordable for everybody. Okay. Hey, Jewel, look. Now she's a part of my coaching program, and she's still investing and getting in. I love it. I love it. Hey, Jewel, she's a part of my full-fledged coaching program, my highest level coaching program, and she has been killing it. I love you, Jewel. And so yeah, so this one is more affordable. And again, the 90-day health and wealth challenge is, we walk you through growing, emotionally, physically, financially. There's some people trying to reverse chronic illnesses and things like that, and trying to get their health together, trying to lose weight and stuff. And so they need a little bit more hands-on. And so in the 90-day health and wealth challenge, we just help people to reset, rebuild, and rewire their habits, so they can build wealth without losing the peace that they're supposed to have. And we really target your health as well in there. But again, I feel like, I want to provide something that's very easy. It's a no-brainer for people to join. And so if you want, again, a little bit more in depth on my philosophy of wealth building, $3.99 is easy. Okay. It's a no-brainer. Thank you. I'm looking forward to joining up to the 90-day program soon. Absolutely. And the link is in the description for that as well. And so I'll try to actually let me screenshot you so I can even reach out to you. I might grab your email just so I can send you some information about that, Megan. All right. Well, I wanted to come on here and love on you guys and really inspire you all to get busy. And we are building wealth. We're some of us gonna come off the jobs, and we're gonna have enough to really do what we want to do. Now, again, in my membership, I talked about yesterday, I do want to say this because I kind of shared it yesterday, that I was going to I'm just launching it. So I wanted to wait a couple of days, maybe at some point next week, to really talk about a principle that I learned, that was revealed to me through scripture, that was a game changer with understanding how I can build wealth more intelligently. Like I really believe it's something that God showed me. And it was a piece that I was missing. And it really did change the way that I looked at gaining wealth. You know what I mean? So I took immediate action when I learned about it, but I'm not sharing that publicly. I want to teach it properly. So I'm going to be breaking that down in my wealth and wisdom community. That'll be the first training that I really want to do, because I really want to go into detail with this principle. And I'm telling you, it will change your entire life. So I'm saving that for my membership group, and it's going to be well worth it. All right. What do I think about Dogecoin? I like Dogecoin. I'm holding Dogecoin right now. I got it at some amazing prices. So I have some nice Dogecoin. I'm holding, you guys. I'm holding. I think that there is a lot to come. Even if we go through another crash, I have my limit orders placed. I have money that will be utilized. Yeah. Yeah, I have my limit orders set, and I've already told my money what to do and where to go. And so it's just waiting. So I don't have to do anything. It's automated. So it's raining outside. So I wanted to put things in place because of the last crash. Go back and watch the other video. I go into full depth about exactly what I'm doing in case we do have another crash, because I don't know, it's so much market manipulation, but I do believe that we're going to go higher in the stock market and in crypto currently. I do believe, and I have my reasons why, and I go through that in the last video as well. So if you haven't seen that, go back and watch that. Because yeah, health is wealth. I love that. Thank you. Looking forward to all of the gems in the wealth and wisdom community. Absolutely, Tiffany. So yeah, we're gonna knock it out the park, guys. All right, I'm gonna get up out of here. Listen, in the end, the real wealth isn't just like, okay, buy this stock, buy that stock. It's not just in the stocks you buy. It is in the strategy that you master. I want y'all to remember that. All right, I'll see you guys next time.